Well, I can see we're narrowing it down to the serious music lovers. It's kind of fun. This almost has a feeling like a family reunion. I've bumped into lots of people that have been here for many, many performances. It's kind of, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like a once a year family reunion. Come on, I'll wait. Did you wash your hands? Well, we're having popcorn later. So I had a few people ask me what if I was in the music business, and I said, yeah, a little bit, kind of. And one of the strange things that happened to me with the piano player, I was working with a guy by the name of Bing Crosby, and I worked with him for 13 years. And across the hall was a guy by a piano player, big guy, big hands, big. Oscar Peterson, that was his name. Yeah. So I was very happy to see him, and we talked and what have you. And I said, Oscar, I've got a tune, and I wrote a special arrangement, and maybe you'd like to use it if you think. What do you think of it? And he says, we'll play it for him. So I said, okay. So I played it for him, and he smiled. And he says, well, it's nice. I said, do you want to use it? He says, no, I don't think so. I can't move my fingers that slow. So, it's time to have another wonderful pianist. Sounds like a, never mind. Gentleman who was the head of jazz studies at Cal Poly for many years. He's been on our program numerous times. How about a nice, warm welcome once again for Mr. Paul Rinzler.
So the first thing I'd like to do is to add my voice to everybody who's expressed appreciation for Bob Harway. Bob, I have to tell you that the thing that I always loved about your playing is how you craft your lines. They are sculpted. They're sculpted with such precision that it's practically chiseled. And I can't think of a single piano player that I've ever heard that plays lines with such precision as yours. I just got to say thank you for playing like that. Thank you for being the piano player you are, because I think the first time I heard you was in 1998, and it's just been a joy ever since. So thanks, Bob. Okay, so I have to say a few words about the one selection I'm going to play for you. So it's entitled My Dream. And the reason why it's entitled My Dream is because I created this piece in a dream. I had a dream where I was playing piano, and I improvised this piece from beginning to end, and then I woke up, and I could remember what I played, and I'm going to play it for you. So I woke up at about probably 3 or 4 in the morning, and I was so thrilled that this had happened that I couldn't get back to sleep for another hour, thinking about when am I going to have a chance to play this, and how am I exactly going to do it, because there's some logistical problems I had to figure out. It was just fantastic, and I'm so happy to be able to play it for you. You may be aware that this sort of thing is not unprecedented. Most famously, Paul McCartney of the Beatles woke up one morning and had the entire melody to maybe his greatest song, Yesterday, completely in his head. Now, he didn't say that he had a dream where he was performing, he was singing or playing the melody. He just woke up and the melody was there. So that's a little different, but at least it's still some precedent for this sort of thing. So this piece is in 3 parts. The middle part, the second part, is pretty much exactly how I performed it in my dream. I have tweaked a couple of things here and there to make it flow better, and I had to solve some logistical problems, but pretty much it's exactly what it was in my dream. The last section, the third section, in my dream I was merely playing a series of chords, one chord after another, with creating a certain mood with a certain emotional content. So that's just what I'm going to do here. I'm going to improvise a series of chords, creating a certain mood. And a similar thing happened in the first section, only for there, the thing that I was able to retain from the dream was just the mood. The mood has to be such that it leads into the second section. Everything else is going to be free improvisation. So I have one other thing to say, and I hope I have everyone's attention because I need your cooperation. No matter what, don't interrupt me. I can assure you, in all seriousness, I can assure you that everything that I perform, from the time I sit down on the piano bench to the time I'm standing right back up here, thanking you for listening to me, is intentional. And it was all part of my dream. Thank you.
You played it all. How about a nice one? Once again, Paul Rinzler. That was different. That was fun. I like that. Very nice. Okay, I guess it's time for just quickly the musicals, Joe. Well, yeah, I guess it's a joke. Going back to the early days of music, early days of musical instruments, back in the old days, say 1,000 years ago, instruments were much more primitive than they are today, to a certain extent. And the Irish came up with these things made out of sheep, with reeds and chambers, and they call them the Irish war pipes. We know them better as bagpipes. And we've all, we're familiar with the sound of that. You know why bagpipers are always marching? We're trying to get away from the sound. But the deal is real simple. They use it as a psychological weapon. They would have like when they would have these wars and battles and things like that, they would have these bagpipers, 200, 300, 400, 500 of them, preceding the troops, and they'd be going up, let's say there's a hill and there's the enemy's up here, so they'd send the bagpipers up first to frighten the enemy. So they get in this war and they're going up, they send off the bagpipers, all right? And the bagpipers are going up there, and the guys on the hill are looking and they're going, oh, here they come. So they start shooting at them. And bang, these guys are dropping like flies and just bang, 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 and they just keep coming along and, walking along, playing their song and doing the thing. And they get down, they get up there and there's about 100 left and they're about 100 yards away. They walk another 50 yards and now they're down to about 25 bagpipers. And they finally get to about 10 yards away from the enemy, and it's down to 2 guys. And finally one guy says to the other one, and he says, maybe we should play something they like. Now, this next pianist promised me that he would not play bagpipes to me. So how about a nice round of applause for Marshall Otwell?
Am I the only one that used music so far?
I forgot mine.
I'm supposed to be able to read it. Okay, this is a tune that was played by Bob in the 2008 piano showcase, and I hope to do it justice.
Thanks very much. This next tune was played by Bob in the 2010 piano showcase. And this is a tune, Everything Happens to Me. It's an old standard, and hopefully most of you know it. I'm going to do something a little different with it. Usually I'm a believer in the idea that music is not to be analyzed, it's to be enjoyed. But I'm still going to tell you a little bit what I'm going to try and do. Usually we play the harmonic structure of a tune when we improvise. And it's a repetitive, iteration kind of thing. With this one, I'm going to improvise on the melody, but not necessarily in the harmonic structure of the tune. But I'll play one chorus the way it was written, and take it from there, and if it makes sense, that's a good thing. And if it doesn't, that's art. piano showcase. And I don't play these tunes anywhere near the way Bob can play them. But I really, I've only known him for about 10 years. So I'm still studying.
Now you know why Marshall was Carmen McRae's accompanist for 8 years. Yeah. Great to keep it like that. Thanks, Marshall. Wonderful. Okay, they say it's a small world. This next performer is a gentleman whom I met a number of years ago. He played, 15 years ago. He was here last year too, I think. But we were talking about the music business. It turns out he and I have the same friend. He did a show with this friend with the Peggy Fleming show 50 years ago. The stand-up comic was a friend of mine whom I've known for about 60 years. And so what's he do today, tonight? We're sitting back there in the cheap seats. He pulls out his cell phone. He says, "Is this the guy?" Yeah, he's still friends with him. I'm still friends with him. He lives in Thailand. That shows you how small the world is with social media and everything else. But anyway, a wonderful player. How about a nice round of applause for Mr. Jim Barnett?
I know we're running a little long, so I won't take long. No more Johnny Mathis stories. Actually, at the risk of sounding a little self-promoting, Darrell and I and James Gallardo, bass player, 2 years ago went up to Painted Sky, and we recorded about 17 tracks. We chose 10 of them, and a few months ago, our album came out, Jim Barnett Trio. It's on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube. So if you type in Jim Barnett Trio, you find the green logo, that's it. Anyway, we're going to do 3 cuts from that. The name of the album is Just Friends. So I'm going to start out with the title song from that, and we'll go from there. All right. 1, 2, 3. I have so many friends out there, and not the least of which, in fact, I cherish my friendship with Dr. Bob Harway. We're honoring him tonight, and he's influenced my life a lot. He actually has a very wonderful piano at home, which I keep in tune, but that's another story. Besides the album that came out, I also, Darrell and James and I, we enjoyed 18 months every Friday night working up in Paso Robles, which is kind of a miracle in this market. But during that time, I also started working out at Avila Beach. I'm out there doing a solo gig at the Blue Moon over Avila French restaurant. Ever been out there by the pier out there? The reason I mention that is because I get to do whatever I want. It's background for people having dinner and talking. It's not a concert, so I just play what I want to play. And I really enjoy beautiful ballads. No, I don't want to ever play Misty again, but but one of my favorite ballads is My One and Only Love. I just love what it does, and so we're going to do that. appreciate my people. Also, you know, since we are a trio, I always like to hand it over to the guys once in a while, let them play a little something, you know, so it isn't all about me. It's a community effort. That's why we're just friends. Anyway, I'm going to wind up with one that was on the list that Craig sent us of all the songs that Bob played over the years, especially with the Latin flavor. And this is on my album too. It's Samba de Orfeo. And we came up with the idea, or James did, one of us did, to have start off with just bass, and we'll finish it up. And after that, we're going to have a treat with all of us doing something. It's in the program, you'll see. Samba de Orfeo. Thank you. It's wonderful. Thank you, Robert. Whoever did come and did it. Thank you. Greg, how are we going to do this?
Beats the heck out of me.
I think we're starting with Bob, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on up, Bob, Dr. Bob Hart.
Once again, Dr. Bob Harway coming up. Here's what we're going to do. For those of you that have stuck around, this will be the first of many encores. And the way it works is real simple. Bob's going to start off a tune that most of you are probably familiar with. It was featured in the world's worst movie, a tune, the tune couldn't save the movie. It starred George Murphy as a young man. Broadway 44 was the name of the movie. If you ever get a chance to see it, don't. It really sucks. But the tune, here's the deal with the tune. I was watching this movie. It's one of those kind of things that you don't have to watch. You can do other things. You can do your laundry. You can do, you're not missing anything. But all of a sudden, here comes this tune. And it's an old Jerome Kern tune. There's no new Jerome Kern tunes. And it's a lovely thing. And it's a lot of fun to play. It really is. So Bob's going to start it out to a lovely thing called Oh, here's the deal. He's going to start, and then everybody's going to jump in one after another, not all together. We tried that at rehearsal. And they were thinking, no, that looks a little perverted. So let's just do this with, one at a time sliding, keeping the tune going, that kind of thing. And as it does, the excitement will build up to who knows? We might even get it finished before noon. So anyway, Bob, take it away. All the things you are. Let's do it again next year.